So I seen this TikTok video, right,
Mm-hmm.
about people going through their spiritual awakening stage, but in the midst of them going through their spiritual awakening, they finding themselves homeless. They because when they go through it, they just letting everything go. They you know what I'm saying? They don't want to become codependent on nothing. They just let it all go
Mm-hmm.
and try to find their life through that.
And the video saying that
Yeah,
they chose to do
took
that, or they saying that happened because of their spiritual awakening.
that's they saying it happened because of their spiritual awakening.
Yeah, that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
For one, like just because you become a spiritual awakening don't mean you're gonna lose everything you got.
Right.
Cause for many scriptures on it, for one, it says God said that we may have life and have it more abundantly,
Mm-hmm.
heaven on earth,
Right.
that you lack for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Ask and it shall be given. Like so, you don't have to lose everything to have your spiritual awakening. What people fail to realize is, see, if they read and study, they'll realize that the only reason you're gonna lose it is if you making an idol of it. Now, if you worshiping these cars and houses and all this stuff you got, and you placing it above God, and you worshiping it as an idol, then yeah, when you come a spiritual awakening, you lose stuff because
Mm-hmm.
that's something you was that was your God. Like some people you see just they car always. Well, I ain't gonna say all that, but if you represent worshiping your car and your money and your houses and stuff as a God, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you may lose it. But just to become spiritually awakened, you don't have to lose all your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
to
don't agree
come
with that.
spiritual awakening, you don't gotta lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I just look at it as if like you balancing two lives. Like you living on this physical, on the physical plane,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a spiritual plane. It's like the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can see the outside. We can see everything we can see on the outside. We can see our skin or we can see everything. But the spiritual represents the inside of your body, what your organs are doing right now. What your heart beating, but you ain't doing nothing to you ain't
To make
doing
it be.
to make it beat. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta do nothing. All you doing is just living your life. You breathing.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't something that you gotta think about to do.
Mm-hmm.
You just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like this the spiritual. Like when you do something on the physical plane, in the spiritual aspect, it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about that, they got the balance. I mean, I think you got to balance the two. You can't just go. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand you going through your spiritual awakening,
Mm-hmm.
but during your spiritual awakening, right? You got to understand you still got a body. You still got a physical obligation to, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
to this world where you at now.
Right.
Whatever dimension you want to call it, or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
you got an obligation right here. So you got to learn to balance the two.
Mm-hmm.
Your spirit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your spiritual life and your physical life,
Mm-hmm. Right.
you know. And if you don't learn to balance the two, then that's when everything get thrown out of compass.
Mm-hmm. And I think talks like that is kind of stuff that detours people from wanting to become spiritually awakened, from wanting to come more connected with the spirit. Because they look like, dang, in order to be spiritual awakened, I gotta lose everything. I gotta be homeless on the street. I can't have no car, can't have no house. No. Again, came that you may have life and live it more abundantly. But you just gotta know what to keep first. You gotta have an order. Like I said, balance.
Right, right.
Balance and order.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have whatever you want. That's why I say ask and you shall receive. Whatever you ask, believe and you receive it. So I don't agree with that trend from TikTok saying you gotta lose everything in order to become spiritually awakened.
Yeah.
That's just their choice of what they did, or maybe they was worshiping their stuff as idols, and that's why they lost it. But it ain't because they became spiritual awakened.
Yeah, I think you know when what they doing, what's happening is they becoming where they just try to opt out of you try to opt out of physical
Mm-hmm.
the physical world, like the physical aspects of things,
Mm-hmm.
and you just focus on what's happening, trying to figure out the spiritual. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like because it's two paths in life. You can focus on the seen or the unseen,
Mm-hmm.
but when you start talking about yin and yang, you got to try to focus on both. It's like up and down, left, right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Inner, outer,
Mm-hmm.
as above, so
So
below.
below.
You know what I'm saying? So you balance in two aspects of life
Mm-hmm.
while you walking through life.
Right.
While you know what I'm saying, you on this physical body. Your physical body is your vehicle, your car.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets you around in this life. But then your mental, your mind is what connects you to the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind is your, you know what I'm saying, your mental,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see what's happening in the spiritual world right now, but you can see what's happening in the physical. So when you see something happening in the physical, you connect it to the spiritual realm and try to see like, well, if this happened on the physical level, then what happened on the spiritual level?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what I think they doing is they just
Just looking
going
at the
full.
physical.
They just going straight to the spiritual
Mm.
and don't think they gotta participate
In the physical.
in the physical.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't have a body and you wouldn't be on this earth if it wasn't something for you to do
Mm-hmm.
in this, you know what I'm saying, in this time that you incarnated.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you supposed to be developing yourself, developing your soul, developing your, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you do go back to divine, to the divine, then you know your experiences you learn, and then if you reincarnate,
Mm-hmm.
you bring them experiences back.
Mm-hmm.
We here to learn, to experience, and if you opt out of the physical world, then you don't get those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a system in place, and the system ain't like you don't gotta participate with the system, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of throw you for a loop when you don't you go against the grain because you in a spiritual world. You
Mm-hmm.
living in a spiritual world. You can be in the physical world. It's just living in the spiritual world. Like somebody can be walking right here. You think, yeah, that's a physical person,
Mm-hmm.
but it ain't. They living in the spiritual world. You just can see them. Cause some people, everybody can't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody can't see. So it's some people out here that you can see. That
But they can't see you.
some people can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is. I'm serious. Like I'm for real. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's some people in this world that you can see, but somebody else couldn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, it's something happening. It's something happening every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this world, like, and we just overlook it.
Yeah. People overlook a lot of things because the world keep you so busy. Busy. Bound under Satan's yoke. The more busy you are, the less you able to see physically.
Mm,
So I can see how they'll connect those two because they letting go of stuff and job stuff because they don't want to be busy trying to keep everything up. But like you said, you got to find a balance. So Yeah, I can see that. The more busy you are and
Where
going,
the
going,
balance
going.
at though? Where the balance at? Like how you find a balance? How do you find a balance in this? You know,
Hmm.
nobody knows.
I mean, well, a balance is gonna be different for each person. It ain't gonna be just a one thing that
Mm,
fits everybody. Cause everybody life different. Everybody is not on the same spiritual level.
mm,
That's why that's why the Bible says study to show yourself approval. So therefore, each person got to study on their own. Each person is at a different level.
mm.
Like even with me and you,
Yeah.
married, husband and wife, but we still studying on our own. So you made us study something more than what I have. You at different levels spiritually. Then we come together and we share it. So that's why we connect and we good. But each individual, they balance gonna be a difference. It ain't no set thing saying, all right, this is what you gotta do to be to balance it. But what you can do to work on it for yourself personally is set a schedule as far as to get started. Say, okay, well, I'm gonna set aside 30 minutes a day to sit down in silence, read, meditate, and just relax. Cause most people don't do that. Most people think relaxing is going to sleep.
Mm,
Most people think the only kind of break to take from the business of life is just go to sleep. But that ain't it. You got to be fully awake and just sit in silence. And that's a problem. That's a problem for most people too. Most people can't sit in silence. They don't like to sit in silence in their own thoughts.
mm,
And that's a lot. That's done with most people. They mind just steady racing, and going. They gotta always be around somebody. They gotta always hang out. They gotta always go somewhere. They got no. You gotta to get started. If you want those people to get started, at least take. And I could say this because I can say it from a personal experience. As a wife, a mother, starting businesses, doing real estate, all that stuff. I was going. But I had to realize God said, told me, hey, take time. And like that's the verse say, peace, be still.
mm,
You got to be still to have some peace in your life. You ain't gonna have no peace if you steady going and going and going. Peace, be still. So you got to take that time to be still. And I had to learn that from personal experience, cause I would just always go. I need to be here. I need to be there. I need to do this. Need to do that. Sleep. But I had to realize once I start taking that time and setting out a certain time of the day to just sit, read, meditate on what I read, and then just sit in silence to
mm,
just listen to see if I hear from God and if God is trying to tell me something about what I just read. That
mm.
made a whole lot of difference. I'm in a whole lot more peace now, and I ain't so stressed out, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Hmm?
I don't sit still. I stay in motion. I keep going. I just stay in motion. I'm in motion. I keep going all day long. I don't never stop. I don't even sleep. I don't sleep. I stay in motion all day long, 24/7, 365, all day. I don't sleep nothing. I just keep going all day. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you gonna slow down? When you gonna slow down? They be like, when you gonna slow down, Jeff? I'm on the go. I'm on the go. Yeah, that's how I be. Hey, I got too much emotion, man. Right now. I can't stop right now. I know I need to, but I cannot do it right now. I got too much emotion.
Well, you have to release some of that emotion to get some peace.
Huh?
You have to release some of that emotion to get some peace of mind.
Oh, look. Hey, look at him. I was just playing though.
I know. That's why I'm looking at you
But
like that.
well, yeah, I know you know that, but look, but yeah, you got to sit down and think about it like that. But what I do, I just ask questions
Mm-hmm.
all day in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ask
I,
yourself questions, all them.
yeah, I ask myself questions all day,
Mm-hmm.
all day long. I just ask myself questions, waiting for
Mm-hmm.
answers all day long. That's all I do. Yeah, ask myself questions like,
Mm-hmm.
why that happen? Why they do that?
Mm-hmm.
See, see, myself answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just serious. I just ask myself questions. You know what I'm saying? I look in the world, see something, then I ask myself a question.
Mm-hmm.
Write the question down. If it's big enough,
Mm-hmm.
if it's big enough, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
write down, bro. If not, then I don't know.
But let me tell you,
Wait for
that
mine.
just sparked in my mind the thought of most people don't talk to themselves because you hear, growing up stuff, you get called crazy
Mm,
for talking to yourself.
right. Yeah.
But you gotta talk to yourself.
I just
You gotta talk to yourself.
I just be crazy nigga, cause I talk.
That's what speaking life. Oh, speak over your life. That's
Yeah.
talking to yourself.
Right.
You speaking over your life. That means you saying stuff and talking out loud. You talking to yourself. Saying affirmations. You talking to yourself.
Right.
So you're not crazy talking to yourself. You actually need to talk to yourself and build yourself up from everything the world try to tear down. And you got to talk and build yourself up.
No, they already built up. They're perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect people. Perfect. The perfect human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I know I ain't perfect, so and I'm far from that. But every day I strive to be a better person, a better
Right.
me, a better whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I strive to be better in everything that I
Mm-hmm.
do every
Mm-hmm.
day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that when the opportunity presents itself and I do meet the Creator, when He weigh me upon the scales,
Say, come, well done, my good and faithful servant.
yeah, I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But all the stuff that I did, you know, I go back and I look at it and I say, well, you know, it's gonna lead you to a certain place,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to feel it in your heart. So most people do stuff. I mean, I ain't gonna say most people, but if you don't feel it in your heart when you do something
Mm-hmm.
like that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that just in you. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't for everybody to walk this path. You know what I'm saying? To
Mm-hmm.
be whatever we call good, a good
Mm-hmm.
person. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what that is, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever we say is a good person in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't for everybody to walk that path.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have to walk this other path because that's what they needed in
Mm-hmm.
this time period, in this body that they soul resides in. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they needed. It ain't for them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, you know, because there wouldn't be no duality if it was for everybody to walk this, what we call a perfect human, I mean,
Good.
yeah, a good
Mm-hmm.
person, what we
Mm-hmm.
call a good person. If it was meant for them to do that, then it wouldn't be duality. Everybody to do that, it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be no duality. It wouldn't be a yin and a yang.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the law of the universe. You know,
Yeah.
it you gotta. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? The polarity. Yeah.
The what?
Polarity, yeah. It just will go right, left,
Mm-hmm.
up, down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's always a reverse side to everything.
Mm-hmm.